pull away, you're gonna go. Stop! You
Then give me my ticket!
You're gonna go to jail. Do it again. I swear to God, you'll go to jail.
This incident began when an officer pulled over this crazy Karen for speeding.
Hello, Officer Fager, Edgewater Police Service. Nice to talk to you. We're 59 and a 45. Do you have your registration and insurance with you?
I don't know what it is.
Pardon me? That one's expired as of September.
I don't know.
Pardon me? Okay, well, the requirement is that you provide, and I'm giving you an opportunity to do so. So if you want to refuse to give me one, that's okay, but I'm giving you the opportunity.
Why are you being a jerk? I haven't
I'm
been,
not. You
I
are.
haven't-
You've
No,
stated
I
3
haven't.
times, I don't know, sarcastically,
I really
okay?
don't know.
I requested something that you're required to give me, okay? And I'm giving you the
I'm not
opportunity
being
to give you it.
sarcastic with you. I have been nice to you.
What I'm trying to explain to you is I'm giving the opportunity to look for it.
Oh my gosh, you're the first one who's asked.
During the stop, officer requested her registration and insurance, which she initially struggled to locate. As tensions rose, Michelle became increasingly frustrated with the officer's tone, which she perceived as condescending. Despite the officer's attempts to remain professional, Michelle's frustration continued to escalate.
How hard was that?
Pardon me?
How hard was that? Not
There's
hard
no
at
need
all.
to use vulgar language,
But you
ma'am.
don't have to be such an asshole, do you?
Since when was I don't recall
You've been
any
an
time. I've
asshole
been
the whole
professional the
time.
entire
No, you
time. It's
have
called
not.
professionalism.
You have. Wow.
All you had to do is provide me your registration and insurance and we can avoid any issues.
And I have told you. Oh my God.
Why are you calling 911? Hang up or you're going to go to jail for misuse of 911.
I'm not misusing
Hang up or
911.
hang up or you're going to go to jail for misuse of 911. Hang up the phone. Are you failing to provide your proof of insurance?
She argued with officer, repeatedly calling him rude names and questioning his authority. When he explained that failing to provide her registration and insurance could lead to a citation, Michelle continued to be uncooperative, even calling 911 to complain about the officer. This only worsened the situation, as officer warned her that calling 911 unnecessarily could lead to her being charged with misuse of the emergency service.
Because he's.
Yes.
I haven't done anything. I have been extremely nice to this
You were
guy.
speeding.
Yeah.
I told him that I couldn't find my registration. He said that he was giving me a chance to give it to him, or else I was going to be in trouble. And then he said he was going to take me to jail.
Just so you're
because
aware, all
I
that's on
can't
camera and
find-
none of that happened.
I
can't-
understand.
Oh,
ma'am,
yes, it
ma'am,
is.
Ma'am, I understand. Are you in a gray Nissan?
I am.
I'm going to go ahead and let the sergeant know what's going on, okay?
Thank you so much.
Now for 10 Central. Sorry, we trying to read it? Yeah, we're just trying to... We'll let you here.
Any particular reason for the speed? Hang tight for me. I'll be right back with you. This is the time. She's complaining though, so I don't know if you want to get tied up in this.
No, I don't care. Okay, what's the citation for?
Speed.
Oh.
I have a question for you. You're wearing corrective lenses, like contact lenses.
As this continued, Michelle's frustration with officer intensified. She called 911 again, this time asking for another officer, claiming she was being unfairly treated. Officer reminded her that misusing 911 could lead to legal consequences, especially if she was calling without any real emergency. The situation became more heated when Michelle accused the officer of taking too long to issue the citation, as she was eager to leave and get home to her child.
I've had here just enough time to
No, you
issue
have
you a
not.
citation.
You
Yes,
have
ma'am.
left me here longer than anybody ever has.
It's been less than 15 minutes since the officer initiated the stop.
Is that your supervisor?
No, ma'am, it's
Give me my and I want your supervisor.
Okay, they're on the way, and I will give you. But
Give me my so I can go. I have to get home to my kid.
I don't have to sit here and have you yell at me. I don't.
I want my You have me pulled over
Correct.
for nothing. Now let me have
I
my
don't have you pulled over. I have you pulled over for speed.
Then give me my
What, do you,
ticket so I can
what was
go.
I in the process of doing before you started raising your
Give
voice?
me my ticket so I can go. I have a kid to get home to.
Okay, then lower your voice and I'll give you your
Oh my
ticket.
God.
Lower your voice.
911. I'm done.
Do it. Do it. You'll go to jail.
Give me my
And this is when things started to heat up.
Now.
Put it in park.
Step out of the car.
I didn't do anything.
Step out of the car.
Please, no,
Step out of the car. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
Why am I going to jail?
Stop. Stop.
I have asked for a supervisor.
They're on the way.
You'll get
Well,
one
why are
now.
you yelling at
He
me?
just tried to take off with his hand in the vehicle.
You will get a supervisor now. Walk back to that car. You're going to jail.
I need to call
Let's
my
go.
kid.
No, it sucks. You're going this way. Come
I need
on.
to call my kid.
Unfortunately, let's go.
He's home by himself.
Let's go. Walk to my car.
All you had to do is lower your voice.
I was trying, but
you were not
weren't
trying.
listening to
I was
me.
being so professional.
No, you weren't.
No, listen, make your complaint, okay? I was
were being
professional.
mean
No,
to me from the
I
day
will.
that-
I
from
will
the
get
time-
you a copy of the video. I was professional. I gave.
The situation became critical when Michelle, feeling trapped and frustrated, attempted to leave. After officer told her to lower her voice if she wanted her ticket, Michelle's patience ran out. She began to drive off while the officer's hand was still inside her car, creating a dangerous situation. As a result, officer reacted quickly, warning her repeatedly that if she drove away, she would face jail time. Michelle ignored his warnings, and a brief struggle ensued as she attempted to put her car in motion. The officer finally managed to stop her, ordering her to step out of the vehicle.
Pulled her over for speed, and she just running her mouth, wanted to talk with you. She tried to call 911. I said, you call 911, you're going to go to jail for misuse of 911. Okay? So then she called dispatch. Said, I want to talk to a supervisor. Asked me for my name, I gave her everything. So I went back, called you, got the citation, went to go give her a citation. She started screaming at me again. She just, give me my fucking ticket. And I'm like, I'm trying to, but you're screaming at me. And she's, you've kept me here too long. Okay, well, calm down. I'm going to give you the ticket. She goes to call 911 again. Okay, I said, don't call 911. You're going to go to jail. She throws the phone down, says, F this. Threw it in drive while my hand was in the car and just started driving away with my hand on the car.
Okay. So what are you gonna get her with?
Once outside of the car, Michelle was visibly distressed as she was handcuffed and led to the patrol vehicle. She continued to plead with the officers, insisting that she only wanted to go home to her child. Michelle's desperation was evident as she asked if she could make a phone call and repeatedly requested to speak to a supervisor.
Because, yeah, so when she pulled off, my arm was like this. She pulled off with it, and I grabbed here to keep from going down with it. And it looks like it's kind of popped out. I felt that when it was doing it, when I tried to open the door.
All right, so when was she trying to drive off?
Before I even gave her the ticket.
So she was just being...
She was screaming at me, and I told her, I'm trying to give you the ticket, and she began to scream and scream and scream. F you. And I said, you need to lower your voice, and I will give you the ticket. And then she went to call 911, and I said, there's no need to call 911. That's misuse of 911. You'll go to jail for that. And then, so that's when she threw the phone down. She looked down, threw it in drive. I said, don't drive away. You're going to go to jail. And she did. She drove away. And he witnessed the whole thing.
After being placed in the patrol car, Michelle's panic heightened as she worried about her son being home alone. She repeatedly expressed regret and even began pleading for leniency. Meanwhile, Officer discussed the incident with his colleagues, explaining how Michelle had attempted to drive away with his arm partially inside her car, which put him at significant risk of injury. He also mentioned feeling the strain on his arm as he tried to hold on to the vehicle. Michelle's attempt to leave the scene while the officer was still in close proximity was a serious offense, and the officers discussed potential charges like fleeing, eluding, and aggravated battery.
Alrighty, ma'am. What is your first name?
Michelle.
Michelle? Hello, Michelle. My name's Roberto.
Okay, so he's like, I'm begging you, can you please at least take my watch off? This is killing me.
What is killing you exactly? The handcuffs?
The handcuffs are
On
like,
one arm or how many?
They're both like cut.
I'm gonna take a look. Okay, if I can fit my fingers in between the handcuff and your wrists,
Can you at least take
I
the
can't
watch
loosen
off?
them. I can take the watch off. I'm just gonna take a look.
Please, I have a panic attack.
Ma'am, I'm gonna let you know something. Right now, you are in this car for a reason.
Please don't take me to jail.
Okay?
Please.
Yeah, see, I'm not gonna open the door if you're gonna start escalating, okay? If you're asking me to remove the watch, I can do that.
Michelle's pleas couldn't change the outcome, as her actions had already crossed a line.
Just watch your leg. All right. So from the beginning, how was it exactly that?
He was just mean. He was asking for my registration. I'm like, I don't know. I really didn't know. And he was saying I was being a smartass about it. But I really wasn't. I don't know. I took the sticker and put it on it. I didn't know what I did with it. And so I was looking for it. And he's like, well, I'm going to give you one more chance to get your registration. I was looking for it.
Yeah.
And he was being mean. And then he said that I was going to go to jail and that I was going to go to jail, and that I needed my insurance, and I had to pull it up on my phone, and that took a while. And then I asked for his supervisor's name, and I didn't know that I wasn't allowed to call 911 even if the cop was behind. He was going to take me for the jail for that if I didn't hang up. I hung up. I did what I was told.
What was the reason you were calling 911?
Because he was being a jerk. I just wanted another cop.
So that was after you had requested me and I was on the way.
No, that was before. And then I just simply wanted my ticket. I asked him nicely for my...
Michelle's desperation continued as she explained her perspective to another officer. She insisted that she had not intended to harm anyone and that she had simply acted out of frustration. However, the officer emphasized that her attempt to drive off while Officer's arm was still in the vehicle was reckless and dangerous. Her anxiety grew as she repeatedly asked if they could remove her watch because the handcuffs were causing her discomfort.
Where was it?
He was standing by my car.
Okay.
And that's why I wanted taken off of this man.
But if he told you not to go and
then I stopped.
How exactly did it happen?
He told me, I was yelling because he wouldn't give my, I asked nicely several times for my ticket and he wouldn't give it to me, and then that's when I got mad. I got to get home to my kid, you know, I'm the only one that he has, and he wouldn't give me my ticket, so I started yelling, and then he says, and so I went to drive off, and he goes, don't drive off, and so I stopped when he said that.
Okay.
That's how I remember it. I'm having a panic attack.
So I have two officers saying differently though.
I wasn't trying to hurt him. I wasn't.
I understand, but for that reason, that is...
As the officers continued discussing the incident, the Karen tried to downplay her actions by insisting she had stopped immediately when the officer told her to, claiming she was not trying to evade him. However, her account was contradicted by the officers who witnessed her attempt to drive away with disregard for the officer's instructions. She repeatedly apologized, expressing that her panic had overwhelmed her judgment. The officers, however, were clear that her behavior, whether intentional or not, had put them at risk. They reiterated that her decision to drive away was not only inappropriate, but dangerous.
And she had a taser ready there, ready to rock.
Taser?
Yeah. The center console.
Oh, the pink thing?
Yeah.
Rip, you were here for the whole thing here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. He was explaining, she was screaming at him.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying to issue the citation, explain to her, but she was screaming. And he had his hand in the car, right here. He told her to stop because he knew what he was about to do, and she threw a driving dude, she floored it. And luckily she just stopped, and then we ended up able to pull her out.
Ma'am, unfortunately, you're gonna be going to jail today, okay?
Please no.
After what I just heard, you could have seriously injured. You could have seriously injured him.
I wasn't trying to. Please.
I know that you weren't trying to.
I've had a really hard time. Please. I was seeing a psychiatrist and stuff. Please. I am begging you.
I'm sorry, ma'am. This is not going to be. This is not going to be something that's going to take 74 years. Okay.
I don't have money for bail. How am I supposed to get out? Please, I'm begging you. Don't take me to jail. I swear, I will do anything. I promise.
Alrighty, ma'am.
I will do anything. Please.
There's going to be a female officer arriving here shortly to
How am I
conduct
supposed to get out of jail
a
if I
full
don't
search.
have bail?
Ma'am, I cannot help you in that regard.
I have nobody.
If I had unlimited amount of money, I would post your bail, but I do not, ma'am.
But you cannot.
At last, they discussed the range of charges she could face, including fleeing, eluding, and misuse of 911. Michelle continued to plead, explaining that she was going through a difficult time and had been seeing a psychiatrist. However, her personal struggles did not change the fact that her actions had put others at risk. Ultimately, Michelle was charged and later received probation, community service, and was required to write an apology letter to officer. Next, a traffic stop in Summit County, Ohio, escalated into an intense exchange when a man named Robert Spice was pulled over for speeding. The officer clocked him driving at 54 miles per hour in a 35 miles per hour zone, which led to the stop. When asked where he was headed, Spice claimed he was going to a courthouse to fix some equipment. Despite this seemingly casual response, the interaction took a sharp turn when Spice began questioning the officer about the radar equipment used to measure his speed.
Where are you headed?
I'm going to the Stark County Courthouse.
For what?
I fix their equipment over there.
Okay. Do you normally travel this way?
I'm all over the place.
Okay. If you were doing 54 in a 35. Okay. You have your ID with you?
Yes, sir.
And then your insurance?
The conversation grew more heated as Spice accused the officer of using outdated equipment. Spice also challenged the officer's authority, suggesting that the radar used was no longer valid for such measurements. The officer calmly reiterated that the ticket was based on proper protocol and invited Spice to contest it in court if he felt it was unjust. Spice's demands for proof, coupled with his frustration, only escalated the situation further.
I manage a company that manages records for the court systems.
Okay. All right, it'll be a second.
Okay.
Is your current address,
Yes.
Yes, sir. Okay.
You've been trained and certified?
Absolutely. I'm actually an instructor.
Oh, good, good. So you did recalibrate your instrument?
Absolutely.
What did you use to ascertain the speed of my vehicle?
What did I use?
Yes, what did you use? You have to have a radar, like an MPH?
Yes, there is an it's
Okay,
a MPH.
Can I get the serial number of that unit?
Mr. Karen continued to assert that he was not speeding and believed the officer had made a mistake. Spice questioned the accuracy of the radar gun used, asking the officer how the speed was measured and whether the equipment was properly calibrated. The officer maintained that the radar was fully functional and had been recently calibrated, but Spice was not convinced. He requested the serial number of the radar unit, showing that he was not just an ordinary driver, but someone with a thorough understanding of legal procedures and equipment. Spice claimed he had experience managing radars for a court system and was familiar with how they worked.
Tell me that you were going to write me a ticket. You asked for my ID and you took it back and wrote me a ticket.
Okay.
I thought you
Because I went back and saw your driving record.
So this is how you treat people?
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I was not speeding, officer.
Okay.
I was not speeding.
So I ran radar.
You
facing-
calibrated it?
Absolutely.
Did you use a
Every
tuning
morning.
fork?
Yes.
That equipment is obsolete now.
Is it?
Yes.
Huh, we're not told that.
Okay, well, maybe you should do a little research into that. How
Okay.
old is that unit?
I don't know.
Let's do a little serial numbers.
He went as far as to suggest that the officer did not have any video proof of the speeding violation. The officer, however, remained professional, explaining that everything was documented and would be presented in court if necessary.
Break for 1100.
I hope you got this all on video, because I will be doing a public records request to find out if you are trained and certified,
absolutely.
if you calibrated the unit, if it's been serviced in the past year, and I'm going to be checking on your record.
That's fine.
Okay.
Because I actually do the inventory of all the radars as well.
Oh, good. Then I got the right person.
Perfect. Your phone number again.
Professionally kept.
As this continued, Robert Spice's frustration grew. He repeatedly questioned the legitimacy of the radar unit used to clock his speed, asking the officer for the serial number of the device and whether it had been calibrated recently. Spice seemed to believe that the officer was using faulty or outdated equipment to issue speeding tickets, and he did not hesitate to voice his concerns. He even accused the officer of using a fictitious unit to determine his speed. The officer, however, assured him that the radar had been professionally calibrated within the last year and that all necessary procedures were followed. Spice remained skeptical, suggesting that the officer had made a mistake or was intentionally misrepresenting the situation.
Let me guess, you're going to refuse to sign?
No, I'll sign.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so you don't have a phone number?
No.
Okay. Just put refused.
This is ridiculous. I can't believe you're pulling people over and writing tickets.
How is it fictitious?
Because I wasn't speeding. I've been telling you that since you pulled me over.
You weren't speeding.
I was.
And you were the only one on the road coming towards me, right there by DNA.
Apparently, you must have caught somebody else going the other way, so it should
No.
all be on the video.
Huh?
It's all on the video, right?
Despite the officer's assurances, Spice was determined to challenge the validity of the ticket. He even hinted at conducting a public records request to verify the officer's claims about the radar. Spice's background as someone who managed records for the court system likely gave him the confidence to pursue this line of questioning.
On the video.
I don't have
Videos
video.
don't lie.
Well,
You don't. I thought you were the expert.
how would
How
if
do you not
if
have
I'm
a
sitting
video of
if,
this? How do you not, at today's day and age, how do you not have a camera?
I do have a camera here.
Okay, are you recording this?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you recorded when you saw me speeding.
I did not.
Oh, so you screwed up.
No, I didn't.
Okay, come on, bring it on. I got shit to do. Come on.
You're a real piece, man.
So are you. Thank you.
Yep, right there.
I'll see you in court.
Absolutely, I can't
Going
wait.
Summit County or
Stowe.
Pittsburgh?
Stowe.
Oh, okay, I'm familiar with them. I manage their records.
I don't have time for it,
I
and neither do
wasn't
you.
speeding.
Neither do you, right? Because
What?
you're in a hurry. You
I'm
said
not
you're in a hurry.
I never said I was in a hurry.
You just said that you got to go. Let's go. I'm in a hurry.
I said that I want to go down here and ascertain and get the serial number of your unit. What makes you think that makes me a... Because I don't feel safe and you don't want me out of the car.
Okay. There's your ticket on the back. Is the Stowe Court
You
information?
already told me that information. February 2nd, 1 o'clock.
No, I said the court's information is on the back with the number sign. Okay? See you on the 2nd.
Okay.
Have a good one. No, it'll all be provided in court.
Despite all of his efforts to challenge the speeding ticket, Robert Spice did not follow through with his threats of legal action. After being cited for speeding, he was given a court date where he could contest the ticket. Spice had repeatedly claimed during the traffic stop that he would request public records, subpoena evidence, and even question the officer's qualifications. However, none of this materialized. Spice failed to appear at his scheduled court hearing, and as a result, he was issued a letter informing him that if he did not pay the fine within 30 days, his license would be suspended. Faced with this consequence, Spice chose to pay the fine of $201 rather than continue with his fight against the ticket. Ultimately, what started as a heated argument on the roadside ended quietly with a paid fine and points on his driving record.
Out of his eyes.
You're not wearing a seatbelt.
Neither the f am I. Neither.
On New Year's Day, 2023, a Portage County Sheriff's deputy was on patrol in Stevens Point, Wisconsin, when they ran a vehicle's plates. The search revealed the registered owner, Nicole Golamski, had a suspended license. The deputy initiated a traffic stop, which immediately took a tense turn. Nicole, the 33-year-old driver, reacted with hostility and profanity, challenging the officer's decision to stop her. She accused the deputy of harassing her and suggested he was lazy, avoiding more serious crimes like drunk driving.
To leave my gas pump, look around, douche.
Well, the reason
you really
why
don't
I'm
have
pulling
anything
you
better
over.
to do on New Year's Eve, New Year's night, New Year's Day, when there's all these motherfuckers. Get that out my eyes.
It's not in your eyes.
I didn't do
If
anything
you know where
illegal.
I'm pointing right
do
here.
know I know your was gonna pull me over. I
Okay.
saw you're sitting at
You know why?
Hardee's. Hardee's.
Yes.
Because
You know
you're
why?
lazy and you don't want to pull over somebody with actually where you have to do
Who
paperwork.
has a suspended driver's license?
Oh, I got a suspended driver's license, but you can pull somebody over drinking and driving, right?
Okay, can I have your ID?
No, I don't have it with me. My name is Nicole Golamski. You know who the I am.
Okay.
Because you just said I have a suspended license. Do what you gotta do with
Well,
your
I have to verify
dog.
that's who you are. I'm not dog.
Nicole refused to provide identification and continued to argue about her suspended license, which led to a heated exchange. The situation escalated as Nicole became increasingly belligerent, throwing accusations at the officer and his colleagues. The officer attempted to explain the reason for the stop.
Oh well, quit talking to him.
What's your name?
Off. He does not need to tell you his name legally. You're not gonna try to make somebody. He's a passenger.
Did I do anything
You are
wrong?
being. This is entrapment. Do you know that? You're gonna
It's
get
not
in trouble.
entrapment.
Yes, it is.
If you think I'm gonna get in trouble,
It's
my sergeant's
trespass.
right here.
What is that called? Harassment.
Have you been drinking tonight?
No, breathalyze this.
Breathalyzer.
Get it. Get it.
How do
And
I
I'm
know
not
that?
on
Your eyes are
probation.
glossy.
Yeah, I smoke a lot of weed.
You been smoking tonight?
Nope.
When's the last time you smoked?
None of your business. You smell weed? Nope. Are you gonna find weed? Nope. Sorry, you wasted your time.
I don't actually. I think I do smell weed.
Nicole's passenger also contributed to the tension. The officer noticed that the passenger wasn't wearing a seatbelt, a violation that requires identification from the individual involved. When asked for his ID, the passenger refused to provide it, claiming that he had taken off his seatbelt after the car was stopped. The officer had not observed either person wearing a seatbelt upon approach. The refusal to cooperate by both Nicole and her passenger only deepened the officer's suspicions.
You're ready.
Not breathalyze me. I'm not talking to you no more.
All right, I'll be right back.
So if you've got a violation on the passenger and he's refusing to identify himself.
I walked up, he wasn't wearing a seatbelt. He's claiming he took it off, but I don't believe him.
Okay.
Neither one of them had him on. She's telling me she's the RO. She gave me her name, but she doesn't have a driver's license on her.
Okay.
So I can write her for that.
Yeah, check and
Plus,
see if you can find the driver's license picture.
Well, yeah, I stopped her for, she's suspended.
Oh, okay.
Let me ask you something, sir. Do you have a valid driver's license?
No.
No? So neither of you are leaving here then until
I
we have a valid driver also.
What? I can walk away. Can I?
You can't leave right now.
If I'm not being detained, yes, I can.
No, you are detained.
How?
You're getting a citation.
The interaction became even more complicated when Nicole mentioned she had been smoking weed earlier. The officer, noticing signs of intoxication, such as glassy eyes, asked her if she had been using marijuana that evening. Nicole, already irritated, flatly denied smoking recently and accused the officer of harassing her for no reason. She challenged him to search her car if he thought there was marijuana, insisting that he wouldn't find anything. Despite her denial, the officer claimed to smell marijuana and suggested that they might need to bring in a K9 unit to search the vehicle. Nicole, in response, taunted the officer, daring him to search her car and expressing confidence that nothing illegal would be found.
What your name is, sir?
No, he doesn't have to. I'm telling him not to talk to you. Do not.
I'm not talking to you right now.
Well, I don't want him
Stop
talking to
talking.
you. No.
You need to stop talking. Step out of the vehicle.
For no reason.
Step out. Come here. I'm going to talk to you back here.
No. Sir, do I have to listen to him?
Yes, you do. Walk to the front of that car, please.
I just want to know, dude, speaking person to person, like, why?
Yeah, I would
why
love
are
to
you
speak.
guys not? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cops here.
Look at how
Why
you're
is-
reacting.
Because
I'm not trying to
upset. This
mistreat
happens to
you.
me all
I'm
the
not
time.
like trying to make you feel
No,
bad.
listen to me, please let me.
The officer asked Nicole to step out of the vehicle to have a conversation. Nicole resisted, questioning why she needed to comply. She expressed frustration over the number of officers present, feeling overwhelmed and unfairly targeted. At this point, there were several officers on the scene, which only heightened Nicole's anxiety and irritation. She felt that the officers were not treating her fairly and that they were unnecessarily escalating the situation. Nicole voiced her distrust of the police, citing past negative experiences, and mentioned that she had issues with authority figures due to personal trauma.
Raise your voice at me, dude. I have daddy issues and I don't like men. I don't trust them.
Listen.
I have PTSD. Do not talk to me like that. Do not.
I'm not lying. Everything I say that we're talking about is
You know how
recorded.
scary this is when you see like this happen on the news? Where
None of
people
this
get-
would even
people
have
get
gone this
held
far or
down.
be to where it is right
People
now.
get held down by you
If
guys
you
and
wouldn't
get
have
choked
if you
out.
could at least have the slightest bit of
And
respect.
Brad, I do not. I want to walk away from you because I don't owe you shit.
Listen,
But you know what you
walk
would
to the
do?
front of my car.
You know what you would do?
Just walk to the front of that car.
You would physically hurt me. You would hold me
I'm not
down.
going to.
But if I tried
I'm not
to run
even going
away,
to touch you.
You would. You'd shoot my.
Just have a seat right there. Relax.
While the officer played it calm and professional, Nicole's emotional state made it difficult to de-escalate the situation. Her distrust of law, combined with the number of officers on the scene, created a charged atmosphere where resolution seemed out of reach.
Because I saw you driving around.
Yeah, I saw you at Quick Trip. I ran her plate. I saw that she was suspended as a registered owner of the vehicle. I can legally do that. I can sit at a gas pump and run every license plate around me. I can legally do that. Aaron Source.
Irving. IRVING. Zaragoza. Call it in right now so I can tell you how it is.
6-2 comp. Could you look up Irvin Zaragoza in-house?
Just off that bonus. Yeah, what's the harassment?
This wouldn't, if she wouldn't have like started yelling at me and like all this would have never gotten to this point.
It's just a...
Eventually, the conversation turned back to the issue of the suspended license. Nicole continued to argue that she wasn't doing anything wrong, and questioned why the officer had targeted her in the first place. The officer explained that he had run the plates while at a gas station and discovered that the registered owner, Nicole, had a suspended license. This routine procedure is part of standard police practice, as officers often run plates to check for violations or outstanding issues.
The car, and like it even says that there's been marijuana in this car. So you're gonna tell me that I don't smell it when it's been in here? I don't care to search the whole vehicle, honestly. I don't want to look in the dang vehicle.
I don't care. Like, what are you trying to get at?
I'm just being honest. I'm talking to you, man to man.
I've already told you, like, there's nothing here. What do you want?
Nothing. I don't want anything.
If you're trying to get in here, get in here.
Okay, can you step out?
Can you run it? Can you be quick?
Yeah, no, you're not going anywhere. You guys might as well start calling for a ride.
I don't have
Okay, I'm gonna have you step forward and hang out with that officer.
I want to look inside the car.
Oh, yes, go ahead. I have to give you permission, not him.
No.
As the officers continued their investigation, they discovered that the vehicle had a history of marijuana-related incidents. This only reinforced the officers' suspicion that there might be marijuana in the car, despite Nicole's insistence that there wasn't. The officer asked Nicole again if there was any marijuana in the vehicle, and she continued to deny it. The officer's persistent questioning about marijuana frustrated Nicole, who felt that the officers were wasting their time on something trivial.
Thought you didn't have an ID.
Yourself.
That sounds like obstructing. You can say, I hear all kinds of things. I just don't want to talk to you because I don't want you to keep yelling at me. I don't work for the city.
At one point, Nicole's passenger mentioned that they could push the car to a nearby relative's house rather than wait for a tow truck. The officer, however, wasn't convinced and insisted that the vehicle couldn't be driven or pushed without resolving the issue of the suspended license. The conversation shifted between practical matters, like how to move the car, and the ongoing tension between the officers and Nicole.
Keep it up. And I'm going to write you for obstructing for not giving me your ID.
Please do. I don't need to hear it. Not from you, and not from nobody.
Here's a citation for operating while suspended. There's a court date and time up here at the top. You do not have to appear. There will be a deposit of $200.50.
Oh, God, your voice.
There's also a citation for you not wearing a seatbelt. Same court
Look,
date.
I told you he's going to write a ticket for everything because he's going to feel asked for, that he didn't find nothing.
Also, I'm giving you a citation for not having your passenger failing to wear his seatbelt.
They spread him?
In the end, Nicole was cited for several violations, including failure to wear a seatbelt, operating a vehicle with a suspended license, and failing to ensure her passenger wore a seatbelt. Despite her defiant attitude throughout the stop, the officers followed standard procedure and issued the necessary citations. Nicole was ultimately allowed to leave the scene, though not before expressing her frustration with the officers once again. She criticized the officers for what she felt was a waste of time, accusing them of focusing on minor infractions instead of more serious crimes. But still, if you believe that's crazy, then I am sure you haven't met this guy at your right-hand side.